Welcome everyone to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am your host, DB Smiley, bringing you some Towers of Doom action here. Sorry about the noise there, my mic was falling over, I had to catch it. Hopefully that won't happen again. Here between Roll1Esports and Deviled Keggs, some Division B West action. So right now, taking a look at the standings, Roll1Esports up near towards the top. They did get a victory off a forfeit, but otherwise sitting at 4 points. Meanwhile, down towards the bottom of the standings, Deviled Keggs, I believe only one match so far. I could be wrong on that, however. But looking forward to the series as we immediately see a Chen ban. I believe B-Train has played a bit of Chen, so excited to kind of see what the net effects of that will be on this draft. It's an unusual first ban, certainly, but pretty usual first ban there in terms of a new Barak. Followed up with an Ana ban. Taking a look at the moment as we see how Chen's been doing in NGS. 14% popularity, which is, based on last season, kind of unheard of. 59% win rate, though. So, respectable. Now we're going to see the ABBA banned out as well. So, looks like a target ban, although ABBA very strong onto this map. 13% popularity rate. Very low win rate here in the Nexus Gaming Series. Only 17%, so 1 in 6 games won. But we have an ETC followed up by the Joanna Sylvanas. And Sylvanas has really been the hot new assassin on the block. Coming in now with a 45% popularity rate, 61% win rate with a 6 KDA. Very, very strong in that respect. But definitely wanting to get Rock Your World onto ETC. Rock Your World is a very strong ETC player. Definitely made a big difference in the last series I casted involving this team. And then we're seeing Wanaba get on Stukov, Big Beard on Dahaka. So I have seen Wanaba Stukov more than once, and it is pretty good. Pairs very well with Rock Your World's ETC. So we'll see opportunities for that. Taking a look here. Mid bands now coming down. What are they going to ban? I'd imagine something like Jaina, maybe. Now just taking a look, we see Wanaba, 1-1 record. Not the best wildcard stat, admittedly. Taking a look here. Here we go, team fight healing. And see, respectable team fight healing total. But good KDA. 6 at the moment. There we see a Malthael ban. That's interesting. So it looks like they're trying to make sure that B-Train doesn't get on some of his more comforts. As we highlighted a bit ago, B-Train, though, I don't really see any mouth games. I would expect the Leoric. Although Arthas is possible, I generally think it's Leoric into Dahaka. That said, they don't have to pick it here. As we get back to the draft. Li Ming Yrel. Yrel is kind of like, is she back? Is she not back? Kind of hard to say at the moment. Used to be she was first pick person. Only a 5% popularity rate. Pretty low average win rate in KDA. But we're going to see if B-Train can turn that around here. Andrew going to grab the Li Ming as well. And there is Orphea Raynor. So a very good DPS combination here. Orphea's really good burst follow-up. And then Raynor is just going to do a good job kind of keeping pressure onto the opponent healer, who has not been selected yet, but we're going to see what V's he grabs. A lot of good healers still up. Tyranda's still up. Anduin's still up. Malfurion's still up. It's going to be the Anduin. I'm excited because I always like to see kind of how people build Anduin. I think Anduin's just one of the most flexible supports we've ever seen. And Anduin has kind of come in this season, made a reasonably big impact right out of the gate. Taking a look, 36% popularity rate, pretty high, 42% win rate though, but a very high average KDA of 7. So excited to see as we head into this match. And taking a look at VZ here. VZ has grabbed some Anduin. We also see some Malfurion and some Ariel this season so far. 40% win rate over 5 games. Still early. 80% kill participation. But, yeah, 1 clutch heal. We'll see if he can get that number up. 28 KDA, though. Hard to say anything negative about that. But now we are jumping into the match. It's going to be Roll1Esports versus Devil Keggs, game number 1. And on the left, we're going to have Rock Your World, going to be on ETC. Poe going to be on Raynor. Wanaba going to be on Stukov. Big Beard, excuse me, going to be on Dahaka. And Zad is going to be playing Orphea. And on the right, Devil Keggs doing a little dance. VZ being the center of this little dance party. I love it. That's great. Ravenx going to be on the Sylvanas. Andrew going to be on Li Ming. VZ going to be on Anduin, as mentioned. Up on the top, B-Train going to be on that Urel. And in the middle, the Stroke. Going to be on Joanna. Level 1 talents coming in. Always excited. Bold strategy from Anduin. Stukov going to go with the E build here. So that's the focus, is trying to get some of that CC. And it pairs very well with the ETC because you can set it up with a power slide, but also ETC can hold boop and push people back into the silence. Rotation coming bot. B-Train wanting to get this rotation going. Rock Your World rotating a bit behind, getting dismounted there by the Joanna. Li Ming tried to go for some hits on the ETC in transit, but both teams doing the rotation. Poe going to stay bot, try to get a lead on this bottom soak. B-Train, though, coming mid. This is a 5-man push, potentially, and it looks like they're going to move on to Rock Your World. Rock Your World very low. Good silence there by Wanaba. Going to be okay for the time being. Rotations, though. I love this. Very aggressive rotations here on the side of Devil Keggs. Now moving in onto Poe. Root, going to be a miss. But now we see Siege Camp being picked up here. Sappers, I should say. Picked up by Roll1. Sappers not yet being picked up here by Devil Keggs, though I expect they might get it on the next pass. Sniffed it out, but a little bit too late to make an impact. Still some minions lost in the mid by Rock Your World. Obviously, kind of helped by the fact that they did get Sappers. That gives them a low XP to keep things even. Up in the top, Big Beard, B-Train, Team Nut. Always a classic spray there. But these Sappers going to get cleaned up pretty easily without really any drama. Poe just staying down here, making sure they get the soak. Sylvanas grabbing that mid soak. So far, pretty low drama. Level 4 is coming in. Ooh, I haven't seen Backbiter. Interesting. I have not seen that talent before. I'm curious to see how it will play. Other than that, nothing too surprising. Anduin going with Moral Compass. It goes well with Bolt Strategy. It really does. Especially goes well once you hit level 20. We'll see if we get that far. But we're heading into the first phase. Both teams pretty even on XP. Very good rotations here by both teams. Playing the macro strong. And we've come to really expect that. A lot of veteran players on both these teams. It looks like it's going to be a trade top. Dahaka not yet on the point, though. That might allow Urel, to be disruptive. We'll see. Urel going to get the channel. Now moving over towards Dahaka. No, she's not. Dahaka's going to get it. But here in the bottom, Rock Your World, very low. T-Tors going to have to get the burst heal there from Wanaba. But here's where Dahaka can join the fight and give numbers. Zoning out that Li Ming, forcing Li Ming to rotate. Stasis used. Li Ming, good flank damage on the Big Beard. Poe going for this channel. Great power slide there by Rock Your World. But Big Beard is in for a world of hurt. Pops the Essence. Going to be okay and get out of there. And that was well played by Roll1Esports there. That was very well played. Knowing the advantage that Dahaka brings, Urel did go make the smart choice, though. Go and get some extra soak top. Go ahead and make sure that Roll1's going to lose some soak. Dahaka's going to have to take the long way up, walking without the mount. Did he go? He went tissue regen, so he doesn't get the, he's not NASCAR, Dahaka. In the bottom, Poe solo defending a 3-man push. Zad now rotating in. There's the root, but, sorry, 4-man push, forgive me. The level 7s are picked up now by Roll1, about to be picked up in a second by Deviled Keggs. Echo Pedal, this could be a stage dive ETC. I mean, it would make sense onto the map. You do have the Li Ming to contend with, as well as the Joanna, which is a lot of interrupt potential. Same with Sylvanas, either of her ults can interrupt. Down here in the bottom. Sappers picked up by Roll1, gonna get cleaned up pretty quickly, but ETC actually now looking to want to engage with this. There's the root, but using Face Melt to separate out the team, trying to now push their Sappers up. We'll see how hard they commit to this. The Sapper's already low. Andrew doing a very good job poking them out. Anduin gonna finish them off with that, or not Anduin, excuse me, gonna finish them off. Looked like Sylvanas finished them off there with that dot. But we are heading into the top. And it looks like Roll1 might be wanting to push in aggressively here. Now, kind of peeling back, okay. Looks like we could just get a trade. Poe is channeling. Doesn't look like there's going to be any attempt to interrupt. And there we go. So both teams launch a volley of 4 shots at each other's core. Very even game. Slight lead Roll1, obviously, on this map. An early lead of 4 points does not really mean much. As it really comes down to, you know, who makes kind of the best plays late in the game to secure shots. Comes down to the macro, so bot lane going to be very important. And we are seeing a focus onto this bot lane by Deviled Keggs. Deviled Keggs going to push up here. I'm going to turn my mic down a bit. I've gotten a whisper suggesting that it's a bit too loud. Hopefully this helps. In the meantime, Big Beard down in the bottom trying to defend this Sappers, but the Sappers are going to go in and really chunk this structure down. Sylvanas using is some version of Merc Queen. I don't think she actually took that. Oh no, she did. Okay, so she did take Merc Queen. Yes, this started at 8 Mountain Time. 8:30 Mountain Time. It was scheduled to start at 8, but yeah, you could use a normal time zone. I'm joking. I'm just being an asshole. Anyway, now though. Both teams with level 10s. We got a Mosh. We got... Ooh. Here we go again with the Eternal Feast. Massive Shove, ISO, and Hyperion. So a lot of Wamba potential on the side of Roll1. But right now with a 4v5, Dahaka could burrow in. B-Train moving on to the point. First thing ETC step up. There's the Light Bomb. Massive Shove not able to knock some members away. Rock Your World using the Mosh. Survives for just a second, but it's not enough. VZ pulling the stroke out of the fight, the stroke going back in, but there's the Eternal Feast to zone the point, and B-Train's going to go down. And what a fantastic turnaround here by Roll1Esports as they manage to defend their shrine in a 4v5 situation. Really good ultimate usage, that Eternal Feast making a huge difference in that fight. There we go. With that, strong start potential here for Roll1. They're up 8 right now in the channel, thanks to that fight. I like the idea from Deviled Keggs, but just weren't able to get that first kill quick enough, I think, to make Roll1 back off. And Roll1 with that fantastic Devouring Feast follow-up. Possible gank attempt here. Poe gets spot out. Rocket World still a bit forward. Rest of the team's not here. Gonna back off. Got dismounted by Sylvanas Banshees. I should note on the other side we have the Ardent Defender, Wave of Force, which is a good counter to the Mosh. Bless Shield, Wailing Arrow, and the Light Bomb is the pick over Salvation. Yeah, I tend to turn the game sound down because people have complained in the past. I can turn it up a bit, but I don't know. I try to have the game sound a bit lower than my voice, but certainly open to feedback on this. I turned game sound up a bit, so we'll see if that helps. Meanwhile, Sapper's going to be picked up here by Deviled Keggs. Roll1 going to step in and clean this up pretty quick. We are heading towards a alter phase. Roll1 with the level 13 advantage. We'll see if there's a trade or if Roll1 wants to push aggressively. They do have the lead, so a trade is not the worst thing in the world for them if they want to play safe. And that is indeed what we're going to get. But now, can Raven X get out? Dahaka pushing in. There's the Banshee. Oh no, VZ separated out from the team. That is not bueno. VZ going to go down. Thick stepped up to try to make sure the team could get out, but then got separated by the face melt. I also had to redo my sound configuration recently because my computer's set up not at home, and so my microphone's at a bit of a more awkward angle here because I just don't have the desk space. Alright. Ureldo getting some good pressure up in the top. Dahaka foregoing that soak just to get some poke there onto B-Train. Still a level lead for Roll1. Pushing up now into the bot lane. Joanna coming in on the flank. Backbite using Fuse to get Zad on out of there. B-Train now flanking down. 5v4 potential. Zad is stepping up way too far. I would have loved to have seen B-Train step up to punish. Dahaka doing the double soak. B-Train setting up in that bush. Sappers won't be up for a bit though, so no super eagerness to rotate. But here comes the 4-shrine phase, or 3-shrine phase. It's going to be the mid-shrine as well as, of course, the top pair. And looks like there's a bit of menace in this situation here. Retreat ping's coming in. There's the Blessed Shield trying to set up the engage. Flailing swipe by Wanaba. Going to secure the disengage. Dahaka in an interesting spot now. Tries to go for Raven X. Doesn't find it.
Lay claim to the altars. Do not disappoint.
We got the solos channeling top, and Roll1 gonna get this channel for free. Joanna unable to get the flashlight interrupt, and split engage, so not really able to you know, try to step up to do much more. So big lead now for Roll1. Roll1 up 24-12. They're going to move into top sappers. With the top wall down, these sappers could be used to convert the structure. Meanwhile, sappers being taken in the bottom, so we could potentially see a trade. The bottom fort very low, but this would be a good time to get some push and try to just trade out and then force both teams to save bottom. The backs were coming in, but I don't think they're going to be able to get down fast enough. Big Beard now stepping up, but I think this structure is not long for this world. The sappers are coming down, but here comes the defense. Urel left alone top. The backs do come in for Roll1. Are they going to be able to defend these sappers? Looks like they are. And indeed, they do defend them. The Haka in the middle needs to be careful. Doesn't get engaged on. Sapper's now going to be picked up by Roll1. Both teams kind of playing around each other. No one wants to be the first one to make a mistake, but Roll1, of course, with the advantage now with level 16. I'm surprised to see Pox Populi. Very surprised, which is to say, into what they have with as many stuns as they have, I think Super Strain is the pick easy. I think Super Strain is absolutely the pick. Because it also benefits from the root. So, very surprised to see that pick. But we got the tunneling clause as well, so Dahaka could have a bit more menace to him. And with the level 16, Roll1 should actually get this channel pretty much uncontested. And with that, it's going to leave only 8 points on the core of Deviled Keggs. And now they're going to continue to push in, try to look for this bottom structure. Hyperion is up. It's going to be used, that Yamato cannon, just providing a ton of siege damage. Tongue there onto Joanna. Follow-up stun. There's the pull by VZ. VZ going with kind of this full W build, though didn't take the W talent at 16, going inner focus instead. But now, level 16's here for both teams. Roll1 wants to defend. Meanwhile, though, looking for Roll1 are the members of... Actually, no. Devil Keggs is just going to walk on and trade. And now there's a bit of an awkward position here because both teams are retreating towards their opponent's core if a fight breaks out. This is a 5v4 at the moment. Dahaka can join. Dahaka does join. Gets the tongue there on the Li Ming. Great knockback by B-Train. But the silence is all over Li Ming. Mosh comes in, still gets interrupted. Li Ming should be able to get out of here. And that was an amazing retreat. Ooh. Alright, there was potential re-engagement, but that was a really good retreat there. B-Train absolutely saved the day by knocking back Li Ming. Or knocking back ETC off Li Ming when the silence came in. Or the knocked the tongue off of Li Ming. And then Li Ming was able to get out despite the silence. So really good play by them. Both teams going to trade structures back here. And it's going to come down once again solo Shrine.
We have lost.
So now, I mean, you're starting to get into a position where you really don't want to have only 4 points on your core if you're Deviled Keggs. Dahaka has used Z recently, so he's going to be late to this, so Roll1 just going to have to give this up. Perhaps playing for level 20. They do have a level lead, so it's a very viable strategy at this point. 5v4 defense, though, it's going to be tricky. Li Ming's starting to nuke that structure. She could go with that mirror ball talent. Good, unstoppable. B-Train getting separated out, though. Has to blow the Ardent Defender. Dahaka does join the back of this fight. Trying to set up the engage. There's the Tunneling Claws continuing it. Light Bomb onto Joanna. Gonna get her out. This has to run through silence, though. Takes a lot of damage in the process, but once again, a good disengage on the side of Deviled Keggs. But Roll1Esports still with some good ult potential. Mosh is going to be up in 15. There's the tongue on the Joanna. Unstoppable comes in. Yrel jumping in over the top, trying to be disruptive. There will be a fight over the Sapper Camp, but ETC has Mosh here in 5 seconds. Not going to take the fight, though. And I like that decision. You're close to level 20. You don't want to lose the fight now and let Deviled Keggs kind of get position to get back into this game. 20-8 on the core, but this keep, is it going to go down? Oh, Li Ming looking for that flank. She finds it. That goes down. And if Devil Keggs can find a way to get both these tributes, it's going to be 10-8. Oh, Blessed Shield was a swing and a miss, though. And now there's a big chance to engage B-Train on the flank. Dahaka coming in. There's the, I believe that was VZ using pulls, so that's down for this fight. Altar's coming up, though. I want to see Rock Your World take this. I know you're close to 20, but you can't give both of these structures up. I don't think. I think they really wanted to take that fight. They had Mosh. They had their ults up. Ardent Defender, Blessed Shield, Wailing Arrow, all down. They don't take it, though. And so we are going to see a 10-8. So you can see the gap close just off that one structure take. Now it's close to an even game, and Sappers are going to be grabbed here on the side of Deviled Keggs. Roll1Esports going to need to defend that. They do have level 20 now, so we're going to see if it pays off. They have to get a fight here with the level 20 advantage, though. They really need to, and they're going to find it here in the mid as a big push coming up top. Rock Your World going to come in onto the flank, and oh no, with the wall in the way, there's the Mosh, gets immediately interrupted. It is a death Mosh from ETC, so keep an eye on that, but not getting the engage they wanted. Good peel out there. But now the focus onto Joanna. Not going to happen, but oh no, Sylvanas having to run through the middle of the enemy team does go down, and that is the kill that Roll1 needed. Are they going to make the boss play to try to set up a win condition? Looks like that's the call. Need to be careful. Light Bomb, Wave of Force are there, but you also, of course, have Devouring Feast. Taking a look at the 20s, though. Controlled Chaos from Stukov. We have the upgraded Hyperion, upgraded ISO. Level 20s just now coming in for the members of Deviled Keggs, though. And we are going to get a top shrine. So at this situation, though, because they managed to just grab this bottom fort, Roll1Esports can only win if they get both. If they trade, it will be 1-5. I agree with that, Contender. There was a little bit of, like, you're just kind of waiting for the enemy team, waiting kind of for the perfect. And again, Sylvanas was not up yet. They could have easily engaged that fight, I think. They didn't do it, and I think they're just playing too cautiously at this point. I think Roll1 is just playing too cautiously. They're worried about making a big mistake that will cost them. But in doing so, they're kind of putting themselves in a position where, you know, they have to worry now about being engaged on at the flank. Dahaka can't really Z into this fight super well without self-separating. And so now they're going to have to deal with sappers in bottom. And if one of these sappers gets through, it could be a huge boon for Deviled Keggs. But now, oh, Big Beard getting stunned out. These sappers are getting close. There's the silence. No one really caught in it. Trying to step up now. Good Orphea Lollipop onto Raven X. The sappers were cleared up. But now defending this bottom fort, saying like, look, we want to keep our win condition. If we can get one Shrine Channel, we will win this game now. So they're going to defend this, and Yrel is going to walk over and get sappers, and it looks like just trying to go for some minion clear, perhaps get into position to engage and get a fight without having to run through this choke point. But now you're in a situation with Roll1 where you're taking an even fight, so that they forewent a lot of fights where they had advantage, and now they're taking an even fight to decide the game. And so this is where I think it's a little bit too cautious. B-Train going to spot out ETC. Li Ming coming in with the poke. Big Beard up front, though. Joanna disrupts the back line, but nobody really moving on to Wrecking Room. Both teams taking this fight very, very slowly to start out with. Here's the Mosh, looking for the engage. Devouring Feast, but the Mosh is interrupted. If ETC gets low, watch for the Death Mosh. Huge four-man Wailing Arrow, though. B-Train and Joanna diving hard into the back. Zad looking like he's the focus, but there comes Stukov with the heals, but his trait is now down. Control Chaos, trying to buy some space. The stroke is low. Has to pop the Indestructible. Well, popped automatically here. There's the Ardent Defender. ETC very, very low, though. Looking for that Death Mosh. Here it comes in. It's going to secure the kill onto Yrel, but no other. So it's a one-for-one trade at the moment. And, oh, the Calamity takes out the Haka, but Joanna goes down as well. Zad now going to go down to that Calamity in the Wave of Force. It's going to be Poe going down, and that is going to be Roll1Esports losing this match. Andrew pops off with the resets there at the end. And that's going to be enough. And, you know, I think first, you obviously got to give Deviled Keggs a lot of credit for getting back into that one as we take a look here at the postgame. But I think you honestly have to approach this as Roll1Esports was, I think, so worried about throwing that they forewent, like, the mid fight down in bottom, the mid shrine fight. They could have engaged onto that because big ults were down. And they didn't. They could have engaged on the top. Sylvanas was just coming up, and they didn't. So they forewent, in my mind, those two very advantageous fights, took an even fight, and then all it took was Li Ming getting one reset, and that was all she wrote. Really close game. Both teams really playing safe, playing around each other, but ultimately, Deviled Keggs going to take the W off some big Andrew resets. So we're going to get set up for map number 2, and we'll be back here. Stay tuned, everyone. Thanks for watching. Welcome back, everyone, to Nexus Gaming Series. DB Smiley here. Roll1Esports had a big lead. Let it slip through, I think, with some passive play, but they're taking us now to Dragonshire, a map that they're quite comfortable with. We're going to see they can get back. It was obviously a very, very close game, and Roll1Esports certainly could still win this series with what we saw from them, but I would like to just see them kind of go for the throat a bit more once they actually have that opportunity. I think a little bit of over passivity there in that last match. Stukov going to be the ban, not wanting to deal with those silences again. We'll see if the ETC gets banned out as well, or at least sniped. Chen once again, so trying to make sure that B-Train does not get onto that hero. Old Chen used to be pretty good on this map. I don't know about new Chen. I would imagine he's okay still. Second ban. It's going to be Rexar. So Rexar has definitely seen a resurgence this weekend. Or not this weekend, this season, excuse me. Rexar, 22% popularity rate, but a 57% win rate, so very strong, and obviously very strong onto this map. And there's the Ana ban, so targeting that support at the moment. Taking us into the first pick here, do they snipe the ETC away from Rock Your World? ETC has definitely had a lot of prevalence in these drafts, especially as now in week 2 it seemed even more common. They're going to take the Dahaka, though. They want to get that global, so Dahaka still in the meta. No, I think Rexar stepping up has made him a little bit less popular, but 29% popularity, still very popular on this map, but kind of a lower win rate than you'd expect, 44% at the moment. Rock Your World, I would expect the ETC. There it is, and there's the Falstad to match global. We've seen Zad on Falstad before. He had a really mean Falstad the last time I casted this team. Used Hinterland's Blast, got a big reset off the Mosh, so seeing a very similar draft. There's the Joanna again from the Stroke. Do we get that Li Ming pick? It's a good counter to the ETC with a Wave of Force, but gonna go Tyrande here, wanting to try to get some stun value as well as just having a Loon's Chosen. Always a plus. Never hurts your team to have that option. Now, next ban's coming in. I'd like to see potentially a Li Ming ban, honestly. I think it's warranted. More worried about the Jaina. Perhaps they plan to maybe take Li Ming themselves, or maybe they're not. Maybe they don't think Li Ming was the problem. They could also take it. Li Ming's okay in a turn. This is not Li Ming's best map, but it's by no means her worst. She's you can still get some really good poke angles. You don't have to fight with a minion wave in your face. Malfurion going to be the ban, so targeting Wanaba here now with these bans. Stukov and Malfurion. Anduin's still up. Ana is off the table, but Anduin's up. Rhaegar is up. I think Rhaegar is exceptional on the map. Unstoppable can be very good with Mosh as well. Kael'thas, Leo. So we are seeing Big Beard Leo. Big Beard Leo really helped out Roll1Esports the last time I casted them on this map. They lost the first set without Big Beard, but then he came in, brought in his Leoric. It was very strong. And you saw a lot of ganks where it was Entomb onto the solo lane top. Falstad would fly up Hinterland's Blast. Of course, Dahaka has that burrow, so something to be careful about. But Kael'thas, great wave clear. Might punish some of that death balling more, so Chromie Lunara, so both kind of off meta picks here. Foregoing the Sylvanas, grabbing Lunara, and then Chromie. I actually like the Chromie pick because it's gonna kind of pressure the frontline ETC a lot. It's gonna let Tyrande step up, and we have a Lily healer, so some, let's call them interesting picks. I mean, they are interesting picks here. Kind of don't even know what to make of this. Lily, taking a look. I don't think I've casted a game with her in NGS, but let's take a look. Lily, 7% popularity, but a 75% win rate. Very high KDA. we'll see. I'm kind of excited for this match. And once again, a lot of this is going to fall kind of on the shoulders, as it often does, of the tank. And as we take a look, Rock Your World on tank now. Getting on to the comfort pick, the ETC. Rock Your World had all the moshes pretty much interrupted. Didn't really have too many impactful moshes other than that death mosh late, but it came at the cost of giving Li Ming reset. So we'll see if it goes a bit better. But it seems like everyone has their SSD installed because we are already in the game. So let's run it down. Roll1Esports on the left. We're gonna have Rock Your World on ETC. Poe gonna be on Kael'thas. Wanaba gonna be on Lili. Big Beard gonna be on Leoric, and Zad is going to be on Falstad. Roll1Esports looking to tie up this series, take us to a game number 3. But on the right, Devil Keggs going to try to stop them. B-Train on Dahaka, Andrew going to be on Chromie, VZ going to be on Tyrande, The Stroke going to be on Joanna, and Raven X going to be on Lunara. Is that a Bronze Dragon joke? But here we go, both teams kind of moving in to this first. We are seeing Falstad go with that bribe, so going to be a lightning build here. Zad taking a bit of poke there from the Chromie. Chromie is going once again the first time, so trying to stack up that Sand Blast. Hasn't done so yet. Dahaka, in this case, going the race car Dahaka build. Gonna want to be able to double soak that mid and top lane in case a fight comes up over bottom. A lot of damage there onto Rock Your World. Is that quest stacking correctly? Because I'm certain ETC got hit there. The indicator might not be stacking correctly. But already we're seeing the very aggressive invade. And Dahaka could join this fight. ETC looking for the back flank. Time Trap does go down. ETC moving on to the point, taking a ton of damage. Here comes Dahaka. There is Poe in a bad spot as well as ETC. They're going to have to back this up. Zad needs to be careful, as does Lili. They managed to get away. The siege camp is lost to Devil Keggs, but they're going to give up some top soak as well as top shrine for this. Grabbing bot shrine, though, with the numbers. Already that siege camp cleared up. It's an aggressive move. You commit a lot of resources to it, but you deny siege camp to the other team. And you're going to get your siege camp probably here on this rotation as well. But blue potentially going to get the dragon activated here. Joanna in position to stall. It is active. The Haka try to move up onto the point. Here comes the invasion, though, onto the siege camp. Time Trap going to catch ETC. Lunar Flare not timed exactly right. And anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. As we see a steal onto the siege camp bot. And Roll1Esports getting a slight XP lead. Raven X in a bit of an awkward spot. Lunar, though, grabbing a couple stacks. Num 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 num. Hero Stalker from Dahaka. Alright. So, Dahaka gonna try to stack Essence off kills. So look for a lot of flankins with his Z. Dahaka has control of top shrine at the moment. Leoric rejoining top lane. Falstad coming in on the flank, getting a lot of damage onto Raven X. Needs to be careful, though. He's getting turned around as well. The bottom camp still in control, or bottom shrine still in control of Roll1. Chromie soaking the mid. Falstad going to come up onto it, but still a 3v3 here in the bot. Couple of time traps. Good time trap placement there on the objective. Leoric still trying to get caught up here, taking some damage, but the Haka backing up at the moment. Now here comes the push onto bottom. ETC, Joanna, kind of facing off each other. The Assassins kind of playing their own game, just like, oh, what? Oh, yeah. Oh, there's a tank down there. Anyway. A lot of sustain coming in from both supports. The Stroke down to about half health. Here comes Zad chunking out. There's a good Unstoppable. But now here comes the Stun. Without Unstoppable, Joanna could go quite low here. Does go low. Now rotating up towards mid, trying to make sure that she can help with the stall. Chromie, of course, can be very good at stalling out this objective, not just with the time trap. Stroke actually taking a lot of damage there from the Falstad. ETC, Lily staying bot, but here comes Kel'Thas trying to help out with this. Could we see a rotation on the top? Leoric currently, gonna potentially take a lot of damage to Dahaka here. Here comes Falstad, though, looking for the flank onto Dahaka. Stasising out the Lightning Strike. Would have liked to have seen Lightning Strike held there. Bot, point still blue, and Stroke is just very, very aggressively positioned for it, as low as his HP is. Needs to be careful. But this is kind of how Dragonshire can turn out sometimes. It's a lot of macro plays, a lot of flank attempts. It's a lot of trying to out-rotate your opponent, make sure that you have presence at the critical moment. Poe is going to not find that time trap. He's going to miss it. But Chromie starting to get... Okay, it is stacking correctly. It was a miss earlier. Dahaka going to try to move up to this point. Big Beard very low. Does he have the W? He is going to drop. Dahaka going to be able to channel top point. There's the first kill of the match. Rocky World, though, going to eat a Lunar Flare, but going to be okay. Zad very low. VZ getting out with less than 30 HP. VZ now stepping back up. It's a 2v3 at the moment, so bottom shrine should go over to Devil Keggs. Rocky World going to have to power slide out soon. Gonna walk away, but that's going to turn the dragon red here in just a second in the middle. Let's see if Chromie can get this before anyone rotates up. Chromie. Oh no, minion aggro, but Leoric also channeling the top. Now Joanna, though, unstoppable about the fall. Needs to be careful. There's the face melt. Drago's down, first kill of the match for Roll 1. Both teams approaching level 10. That's a big kill to get right now. Shrine back to blue. Falstad rotating up. As is Lily and Kel'Thas. Time trap does not trigger. Now it does. Well, that was weird. Can someone explain that interaction that just happened with Falstad? I actually don't understand it. But there you see Andrew stalling as long as he can, but the first Dragon Knight finally going over to Roll1Esports. Level 10's here. It is not the Himalayan's Blast, it is the Gus, Mosh, Pyro, 1,000 Cups, and Entomb on the other side. ISO, Shadow Stalk, Temporal Loop, Leaping Strike, and Blessed Shield. So, not going to focus the mid lane at all, going to instead focus the attention down here towards bottom. Lunar Flare, catching Rocky World. Already getting that quest stack quite well, level 9. But the wall is down. Joanna going to get kicked to mid lane, and I like the angle of that kick. Trying to make sure that it actually makes Joanna have to rotate quite a bit longer. Ooh, Ravenex stepping up with the Living Bomb. Nowhere to go. Alun's Chosen going to try to save, but the Pyroblast coming in, as is Lily. It looked like it was the... That was weird. Lily getting the kill there, I guess, from a blinding mist. But yeah, the Lunara, a bit of an awkward position, exacerbated by the Living Bomb. That's going to enable Roll 1 to steal the siege camp here in the bottom lane. And they should be able to start trying to paint the map blue here. They can grab the neutral camp in bottom, potentially. Their own camp will be up in 40. Let's see how they play this. They're going to grab first their own bruiser camp over the neutral. ETC, though, going to scout the neutral out. Make sure no one's on it. And at the moment, I expect a bit of a stalemate. Oh, time trap is triggered by Chromie. I didn't know that. I thought, okay, so that's... Is that baseline, or is that because of a talent she took? I guess it's baseline. Okay, I've not played much Chromie since the rework. Okay. But here we go now. I actually have never really played Chromie because I don't play DPS much. But neutral camp taken here in the bottom by Roll 1. Their siege camp also on the map. Dahaka dealing right now with the bruiser camp top. Gonna get some red push advantage. Leoric might want to rotate up to deal with that. Siege camp picked up by Roll 1. Falstad still defending the bruiser camp here in bot. Spell shield gonna prevent some of that damage there, but it's gonna drop pretty quickly.
Do not squander it.
Okay. I know she got a rework. I didn't know if that was baseline or if that was a talent she took. I don't know the Chromie build. With that now, bit of an awkward position. Great tongue there onto Lily. ETC is gonna get pulled back, but Raven X, oh, that's not gonna be enough. Or is it? What? Oh, ho, ho. Oh, that was a really good jebaited there by Lunara. That was a really good jebaited. Poe gonna try to go for the channel. Andrew easily gonna be able to disrupt. Lunara gonna try to channel bot. Not gonna be able to do it. Joanna actually now rotating mid, but Tahaka does get the top from Zad. The reason Lunara survived there was greater spell shield. 75 armor. Hard to argue with them results. But level 13s for both teams, separating out Andrew. Andrew is low, gonna use the time trap there. Not the time trap, excuse me, what is that called? Timeout, that's it, sorry. Blanked on the name. But now, Taka and Leoric fighting over top, and Leoric currently losing this fight, but the Hawk are gonna have to back off. Could be a rotation onto Leoric here. Valstad gonna get this bottom shrine cap though. So now it's the question of, can Rock Your World get out of here? There's power slide. And he does. Now Valstad has not actually channeled bot. Focused on the wave and still has not channeled bot. Now channeling it. So this will turn the dragon blue. Ready to be picked up. And it looks like we're seeing a focus. Oh, 5-man defense mid, looks like. But no one was there for the immediate channel. Siege camp going to be stolen with the bribe by Zad here. So right now, Roll1Esports going for some trickeration, I think. But they have control of the shrine at the moment. 4v4 fight mid. The Hawk and Leoric as well up in the top. ETC does have Mosh available. Could look for it. Living bomb from Kael'thas. She's getting some decent single target chunk on the Joe. Joe blowing the unstoppable though. 6 teams are here for Roll1Esports. I want to see a real commitment to a team fight here. Rock Your World though getting kind of isolated out. Now Tahaka joining the fight. Rock Your World gets the temporal loop at low HP. There's the Gus trying to buy space, but the Mosh is going to actually catch both tanks. Unstoppable has to be used there by Joanna. Entomb going to lock down VZ and Andrew. Rock Your World with the face mount now. B-Train very low. Is he going to be able to get away? No, he's not. And there comes Big Beard coming in with the hammer swings, taking out Tahaka and Tyrande there with some help from his range supporting cast. And all the while, this siege camp was softening up this bot lane. Now Raven X just reposted around neighborhood. Stuck around a bit too long. Oh, and there's the sprays. Joanna, I don't like that flank idea right now. That's 3 dead. This is a very threatening push. This dragon should be very healthy when the core dies. I don't think they, or when the keep dies, excuse me. I don't think they move on to core. And knowing Roll1Esports, I would be very surprised if they did try to core, but they could try to open up the map. I'd like to see them try to get this mid fort just because it opens up better rotations. Well, it's hard to avoid spreading Living Bomb. That was just a really good Entomb to lock down both Tyrande and Chromie into a pretty tight space. And it just, there's not many places to go. But now here comes the push up mid, trying to get the wall. The dragon will be down here in 8 seconds minimum, possibly shorter. Now backing up. Daga was looking for the flank, but Poe now out of the DK. There we go. Joe pushing up the bot now. It looks like we're going to see a play for this neutral camp. And I don't expect Roll1 to rotate down, so neutral camp going to be grabbed. by Devil Keggs. Devil Keggs, can they push up and try to equalize this bot lane pressure a bit? They're going to have to deal with a catapult with every wave now, but now it looks like the rotation on a B-Train. Oh, the gravity left barely misses, but a Bruiser Camp can be stolen. So it's going to be a double Bruiser Camp push top. They're going to be able to grab this top fort, and that will be forts in all 3 lanes now, so that will translate into katas. The question is, will Devil Keggs get the trade and at least get every 3rd wave katas in the bot lane to help kind of de-push this a little bit? But Siege Camp now grabbed by Roll1, and they could actually flank onto this fight. Joe spotting out the Siege Camp. Gust's going to be used, but it's unstoppable out, but still not able to get the cap. Now Falstad having to barrel roll over the wall. Raven X going to use the Leaping Strike to get away. There's the Greater Spell Shield, but Tyrande goes down, completely cut off from the rest of the team. VZ, second time this series we've seen him kind of just on the wrong side of Roll1Esports. That time trying to rotate with Tyrande, but Tyrande just has much better, trying to rotate with Lunara, has better escape tools. And Falstad going to deal with this bottom lane, and so Roll1Esports, big macro advantage now. Looking like they want a map 3. Big Beard, though, oh, you hate to see this. Big Beard will drop. We'll be able to come back up fairly soon, or at least not fairly soon, but relatively soon compared to other deaths. But now if you're Roll1Esports, you really want to avoid getting engaged on here. As soon as you get level 20, Leoric drops. I get it, he's not as big a problem when he drops, but it's still something you don't want for free. Tyrande rejoining the fight now. Level 20s are here. It is Bolt of the Storm from ETC this time rather than the Death March. We have the Mighty Gust upgrade. There's the Temporal Loop. Catching Falstad. There's the engage with the Blessed Shield, and Zad goes down. Things could be falling apart here for Roll1Esports as at this point they're almost certainly losing any level 20 advantage, as by the time they can fight, and if they're sticking around here, this is suicidal. This is a Bolt of the Storm has to be used defensively. They need to back up. They need to accept, like, hey, you know, we need to back up, wait until they rotate away, and then we can recap bottom shrine, buy time for Falstad to get back up. But that is 2 deaths that you just don't like to see on the side of Roll1. Leoric pushing this top lane over the Bridge of Death. I get it, he's Leoric, but you just picked up 20. Falstad just taking a fight 4v5 there. And not an individual Falstad mistake, more a team mistake. Time Trap triggered at the same time as Lunar Flare, a little bit of a mishap. Lunar Flare stacks really stalled out after mid-game, but now Lunara coming down, and focus here onto Poe, and if there is another death for Roll1, it could be absolutely devastating. Temporal Loop going to catch ETC, great silence, and that is going to be another death, maybe even 2. Things kind of coming apart here a little bit for Roll1. They need to stop the bleeding, and they need to stop it now. Their level 20 advantage completely gone. They didn't get anything out of it. Now they just need to not give up a DK. Luckily, they had such a big lead that even with those deaths, they still have a huge lead in this game. They're only going to lose a fort. They're still going to be drastically up in structures in every single lane. But Roll1Esports needs to stop the bleeding now, and Falstad needs to leave. Well, unless they can get onto Lunara. Oh, Lunara stuck around too long, but still. They have to give up the Siege Camp, but that is a huge kill for Roll1 because now they are going to have numbers here. In 15 seconds, they'll have basically a 40-second power play for ETC to get involved. Leoric in the top lane, still ready to channel. Falstad going to try to channel bot. ETC's not here yet. They don't have Mighty Gust. They need to be careful. Featuring maybe could have a tongue there, but it's tricky. Oh no, this is not good. Oh, Temporal Loop on the Falstad. This could be devastating. There's the Blessed Shield. Huge mosh by ETC. Gonna save Falstad's life and enable the re-engage. Now, though, no deaths because Falstad had to retreat so hard, but that mosh by Rocky Roll was absolutely massive. Now, oh, what the fantastic Entomb. Gonna secure the kill onto Tyrande. ETC in the rundown. Can he get onto the stroke? Alun's chosen. Trying to keep Joanna up, but with Tyrande dead, it's not going to be enough. And now with the Pyroblast, Joanna needs to run into this before her shield falls off. Falls off. She does have the Indestructible. She buys enough time, but Boy, that was almost an epic disaster by Roll1Esports, bailed out by Rock Your World. Getting the Tyrande kill, going to enable them to now try to look to make a play. With Katas on the core too and Siege Camp on the core, looks like we're going to have to just see a back here, at least a bit of a backup by Deviled Keggs. But Dahaka in the bottom, going to be able to stall this out. No one coming back right now to deal with the Siege Camp and the catapults yet. While this bottom's capped, I want to see them clear this. Dahaka back to do so. Did Dahaka go Apex Predator? He did, so that's a great choice in this situation. With Apex Predator up, if Dahaka's alive, it's almost impossible to cap. It's very, very difficult. But now, neutral camp going to get picked up in this bottom, trying to keep this bottom pressure up. Leoric doing his usual scouting thing. And this game could go on a bit, but it's very intriguing. Obviously, Roll1, they have a huge advantage, but this is where it can be difficult on this map to just find the kill you want. And if I want to see Leoric step up and look for the Entomb here, ETC stepping up now. Unstoppable use. Poe now separate out from the team. Needs to be careful. ETC, very low health. There's the Temporal Loop. Mighty Gust, though, going to be used. Poe, though, does go down, but you have the Airy Gust, and now with that down, ETC's in trouble. This could be disastrous for Roll1Esports. Now they're managing to get out of here, and they do so. But 5v5 fight there. Poe getting, not rotating with the rest of the team, splitting kind of around this fork. The temporal loops have been huge. They've been a lot of how Deviled Keggs has been able to stay in this game. Rock Your World needs to be very careful at this point. B-Train stepping up. He finds Rock Your World. That is not good at all for Roll1Esports. And this could be Deviled Keggs now really getting back into this game. Leoric going to channel this bottom, going to stall it out. But at this point now, that's 2 deaths that were just due to kind of bad rotations by Roll1. And they've most of these kills that Deviled Keggs has had this game have come pretty much after Roll1Esports hit level 20. And they've only really had, I think, 1 kill since, or no, they had, what was it, 1 kill since then onto the Tyrande. So they haven't been able to unlock a victory condition, but now Leoric having to go top. He's going to get this channel in time, so B-Train not even going to waste time trying to get the channel. Knows the math is there. Lunara, though, going to try to open up this win condition. Poison damage should take... Oh, this fort's going to stay alive. This fort's going to stay alive. Lol. But, I mean... With these kills, we haven't really seen Deviled Keggs be able to turn them into a win condition yet. At this point in the game, 22-minute Dragonite, even at 22 minutes, it's hard to get through a keep wall, a keep, and then a core. What is Falstad stacked at? Good question. 4 stacks. Oh, that's current number of 5 stacks. 65% damage here. Oh boy. Bad time to zoom in onto the fight. Trying to zoom out there. Mighty Gust trying to peel out Li Ming. There once again is the Temporal Loop, but that time onto ECC. And having disengaged the Temporal Loop combo, this is now a good fight to take on the side of Roll1Esports. They do have the Mosh handy. They do have the Entomb. They do have the Pyroblast. But they are down 1,000 Cups and Mighty Gust. Leaping Strike is available. ETC, though, I want to see him be aggressive. This is where Roll1Esports has made mistakes. They've not been aggressive when they should be, and then it's put them in positions where they can't get ganked on. Leoric has Entomb. I'd like to see the Entomb here.
Your world is upside down.
Here we go. Here's the Entomb potential. There's the Mosh. Going to get interrupted, but the focus onto Lunara with that silence, and that's going to be a kill. And now Rock Your World has an opportunity. Can they convert another kill to open up that win condition? They haven't been able to do so yet. B-Train going top, but top fort is likely to drop to this catapult. Meanwhile, though, the chase is still ongoing, and Andrew getting cut off from the rest of the team. Blessed Shield not going to be enough to secure the save. And this should be game now. Roll1Esports at this point, they need to go core. They need to not be trying to go for the Dragonite. Apex Predator is going to prevent it if they try to get into that game. Stop playing whack-a-mole with the Haka and start getting onto this core. 24 minutes into the game. Are they going to get the finish? Going to take a really good defense here. But no DPS up to get the kills. Joanna diving Poe. Trying to make Poe the focus of this fight. Silence there onto Zad as well. But there's the Entomb onto the Haka. Are they going to turn on him? There's the Lightning Strike. Down goes the Haka. That's another kill. Lunar, though, going to be up in 4 seconds. The core is still shielded. Focus needs to be onto the core. Joanna doing everything she can to disrupt, but she's going to be the next to fall. She's going to have the Indestructible for a moment, but now it's can Lunara do something? Oh, the Mighty Gust traps Raven X against the wall, and that's going to be a kill, and we're going to get a game number 3. And Roll1Esports finally puts it together. He didn't go the Q. He has bribe. No, I know. I was looking at his bribe stacks. It was 65% stacked. It just doesn't show on that overlay. So there we go. We're gonna get a game 3. Roll1Esports that time. They had some moments that made me really worry because this was going to be the series of what could have been if they lost that match. But they get the clutch kills late. I think the game really depended on that big mosh by Rock Your World. I think without that mosh, foul stat goes down. They continue to stagger. Win condition can get opened up. But Roll1Esports finally finds the right combination. They open up the safe. They go in, they get the core, and they get out. So really good game by them. Rock Your World. Getting my MVP for that one. Although I was really happy with Big Beards and Zad's play as well, despite some of the deaths there. The Lily pick. I should note, no cleanse against the temporal loop. Huh. You know, not nitpicks, but we're going to set up for game number 3 here, so we'll be right back. Stay tuned to the Nexus Gaming Series. Thanks for watching. Welcome back, everyone, to Nexus Gaming Series as we jump into Infernal Shrines. It's going to be our decider match, Roll1Esports versus Devil Keggs. And, you know, if anything, this will help Roll1Esports with their ending problem because it's very hard to defend a late-game shrine. And I accidentally turned sound off in the game. Let's see if we can... There we go. Rectified. Stukov, going to be the ban. Once again... targeting Wanaba, and I have to have some concerns about Wanaba's hero pool if we're jumping into a Lili as the fourth support. And at the same time, I do want to point out, I do think not picking Cleanse the last map was a mistake. I think that was why Temporal Loop was selected especially, was because, hey, there was no Cleanse there. That said, they managed to deal with it. Do we see ETC let through again? There it is. ETC ban comes in. Rock Your World has been very strong on that hero. I think that's the correct ban. I think it's even a higher precedent ban than the Stukov. Significantly so. But now what's the other ban? Are we going to stick with the Ana? We are going to stick with the Ana ban. So mostly the same bans tonight. We are finally seeing the... Well, Stukov was let through the first game. But we are seeing the ETC ban finally. A very strong hero at the moment in the meta, and then that Mosh late was critical. Kel'Thas going to be grabbed by Andrew. Kel'Thas, popular mage onto the map. You know, we saw the Li Ming the first game, and I think the Li Ming was incredibly strong first game, but this is Li Ming's worst map. The minions make it impossible to get value. On the other hand, this is Kel'Thas' best map because he can put Living Bomb on the skeletal minions, and it's very easy to miss it. And so it can make fighting on the shrine incredibly difficult, but we are going to see Anubarak come out from Rock Your World. We're going to see Sylvanas on the other side. So Anubarak, very high ban rate at the moment in NGS Season 7. We're taking a look now, and Anubarak currently sitting at a ban rate over half, banned over half the time, so pick rate 27%. Very popular hero, and there's the Sylvanas. Kind of becoming really the top meta assassin in a lot of ways at the moment. So we'll see what Zad can do with her. But once again, Joanna, third game in a row with the stroke on Joanna. But RavenX gonna grab the Hanzo. And so there's their assassin pickups right there. So a lot more meta than the last game. Significantly more meta. Kel'Thas and Hanzo. Hanzo can get a lot of value on this map as well. Malfurion gonna be the ban. That was Wanaba allowing the Malfurion ban through. Tyranda's up. Do we get a Tyrande ban to choke supports? We get an Alex ban, okay? It makes sense. So if you ban Malfurion, you probably want the Alex. So that's going to get targeted. But there is the Tyrande, and Tyrande pairs extremely well with the Anubarak. And Tyrande can be good on this map because it's very, very easy to get those auto attacks off. What were the map bans? I have it on the map select screen. We have Sky Temple, Tomb, Cursed, and Towers banned out. Or not Towers, Alterac banned out. But there's the Jaina going to be the pick. So a lot of follow-up potential here off the Anubarak stuns. But you want to get some other bulky frontliner that can help out or help out Anub so he doesn't just get bursted right after his shield falls off. What's the support going to be? Anduin's up. Tyrael, Anduin. It's gonna be Sank Salve. It's gonna be just we're unkillable. Fuck you. We're not gonna die. Good combo. What's the soul laner gonna be? Do we see the Leoric again? The Leoric could actually be good post 20. Because you can just silence out the sanctification. Well, you can silence out the salvation. If Tyrael's not in it, then he can still sank beside Entomb. It's gonna be Dahaka. So Dahaka, same as the last map. And we saw very different Dahaka builds between the two teams. But one thing about Tyrael, he's actually a very strong solo laner at the moment. And I'm surprised he hasn't gotten as popular as he is, just because he has incredible self-sustain. Just absolutely absurd levels of self-sustain at the moment, honestly. But once again, this is Two very meta, I think, friendly drafts here. I think the engage is strong, obviously for Roll1, but the counter engage is bonkers on the side of Deviled Keggs. So it's really going to come down to that kind of tug of war of just how well Roll1Esports can execute these engages. Try and clear definitely favors Deviled Keggs at the moment, in my mind. So it's a lot going to come down to, you know, what Zad can do on that Sylvanas.
Prepare yourselves for battle.
So we'll see what happens there. But we are heading into the match now. Oops. The match, excuse me. As we take a look, once again, Roll1Esports Deviled Keggs going into the decider in this series. And on the left, we're going to have Rocky Road on Anubrak. Poe going to be on Jaina. Wanaba going to be on Tyrande. Big Beard going to be on Dahaka. And Zad is going to be on Sylvanas. And over on the right, it's going to be Deviled Keggs. We're going to have B-Train on Tyrael, Andrew on Kael'thas, VZ on Anduin. Excuse me, that I did not successfully update that. Joanna is going to be played by the Stroke once again, and Ravenex is going to be onto the Hanzo. We are seeing a W build out of Hanzo. Pair that with Piercing Arrow at 16, and the clear potential on the Shrine is absolutely insane. Will make it very, very hard for Roll1 to win any late game Shrines, but a fantastic tongue there is going to secure the kill onto Andrew. He stepped up, but Dahaka was ready. And Dahaka's still going with tissue regen, so we aren't seeing a change in that. Dahaka came down bot, now burrowing top to make sure to get as much soak as possible. Typically we're seeing the W build talent here, but Might of the Banshee Queen going to be the pick. We are not seeing the typical solo lane talent, so Justice for All, so trying to make sure there's plenty of shielding. And this is just, I mean, the team fight is pretty obvious how it works out for Deviled Keggs. They're just going to completely counter-engage with Sanctification into Salvation, typically is how that's played. Although you can technically do it in the other order. But now Anubrak burrowing up despite low health without really any minion cover, taking a tower shot there. But the Beetle's going to provide that minion cover needed, pushing this Impaler camp up as hard as they can, trying to get onto the Stroke. There's the Unstoppable. Kael'thas now coming down to help with this defense. But should get disengaged here, but I like the pressure. They recognize that, hey, we want to open up a side lane. We want to open up some macro potential. Roll1 doing a good job doing just that. Dahaka right now soaking in the top. Tyrael came down mid just to grab some soak. Level 4s here for both teams. Moral Compass once again, so I expect to see the same build out of Anduin unless there's some kind of flex. I can't remember what the level 20 was. Was it Variant Legacy? Thank you, Zotoid, for the host. Jaina needs to be careful, getting caught a bit. Root not going to connect. Siege camp picked up here by both teams. Well, not just yet. But no invasion, so Roll1 going to grab their siege. No one getting onto Bruiser just yet, although I take that back because we are seeing Deviled Keggs doing that Bruiser camp right now, trying to get that extra push into the top lane. Of course, it won't get as much value, just simply on the basis that, you know, the Shrine is in the top lane. We are seeing Roll1, they're saying, you know what, we're just going to push mid. We're going to get value onto this mid lane, try to open up some win conditions. Oh, Anubrak was right under the gate. I honestly didn't know which side of the gate Anubrak was on there. Hanzo coming down, going to get some stacks. Already up to 13 stacks, so stacking that W talent quite well. And if you can make it work for you, it's very good. Winter Flare coming out from Tyrande, that's the first stack. But all in all, so far, fairly standard picks across the board. But it's going to be Deviled Keggs starting the first Shrine with Jaina down bot. I don't suspect that we'll see a contest by Roll1. They are taking their bruiser camp now. I question that decision just because, like, they're going to take their bruiser camp and then it's just going to go die as soon as the Punisher spawns. Maybe seems more like a denial than anything else. They're worried about being invaded. But Jaina pushing bot, actually getting that bottom tower here in bot lane. Gonna take this top tower now. Tahaka coming down as well. But there is no one top to defend this Mortar Punisher. They are instead looking like they want to trade out into the mid lane. They get... Oh. Sorry, I accidentally turned my volume up way high. Sorry about that. I had to quiet myself there for a second. But they managed to get walls into the mid and the bot lane. And actually, you know what? This play worked out very well for Roll1. Because now, they drew such a reaction from Deviled Keggs that they're not even going to lose a wall here. I mean, they're barely going to lose HP on any structure, including the wall structures. They lose the gate. And, so actually, really, you know, all my skepticism has been allayed here. Roll1 with a really good kind of cerebral play there. They get a lot of value into the bot lane. They get a lot of value in the mid lane. Top lane, of course, still healthy. Their bruiser camp not really getting the value they want. But now they have a macro advantage, and they have half a level lead to show for it. So heading towards level 10. It's important for them, I think, to get a fight before level 10 if possible, or at least get a gank, just to stall this what's going to become a very annoying salvation and I'm blanking on salvation and sanctification, excuse me, combination. Both teams picking up their siege. Going to be a siege off in the mid lane. B-Train is down here, though. Could see a collapse from Deviled Keggs. Pardon me. Forgive the sneezing on stream. Couldn't get my mic off in time. But now, the Impalers just taking pot shots at each other. Looks like the blue ones got distracted, so the red ones will get the advantage here. Kael'Thas's going to help with that clear. But a focus now onto the bot lane. Now, the next shrine is in the mid lane, not bottom. So there is still a well up mid for Deviled Keggs. 5-man push, though, with this level 10 combo. Joe needs to be a bit careful, but level 10's now coming up on the other side. We have Wailing Arrow, Starfall, Welly, ISO, and Cocoon. So the play might be to Cocoon Tyrael and Welly, and Wailing Arrow, Anduin. Anduin actually going Light Bomb, not Salvation. Interesting. Light Bomb always good with Joanna, of course. Light Bomb always very good with Joanna. But, yeah. Phoenix, Dragon's Arrow, Blessed Shield, Sanctification. I think it's actually okay. You know, normally I wouldn't even say even think about Salvation into an Uberak. But when you have that Sanctification, it can work out quite well. Still, though, Light Bomb also very good when you have a Joanna on your team. Condemn Light Bomb is strong. Very, very strong. Right now, both teams kind of rotating around each other. They know this shrine's coming. And obviously, if you look at it, Roll1 with a much better defense ready. On the right side, we're going to see not nearly as good a defense, potentially, for the side of Deviled Keggs. But Roll1 ignoring shrine number 2 and going for Keep Wall. So they're going to play a gamble. They're going to take the 50-50 chance, or near enough 50-50 chance, that the next shrine is bot lane. And they are going to play this. Here comes the defense, though. They draw a reaction. And only 15 minions killed. They're doing a very good awareness job macro. They see, oh, hey, minions aren't dying anymore. Guess we should back up. And now they can actually fight over this. So they get a tower on a keep. Now they can fight over this shrine. So very cerebral play here from Roll1. Now, though, moving into their bruiser camp. So really trying to play this macro game. Willing to give up a second Punisher to do that. We'll see if that's the right call. The Haka's still clearing the top lane, or at least soaking the top lane. They're racing level 13, it seems. But now, I mean, the Punisher's going to be here any second. Roll1, looks like they want to commit to the fight now, but I don't like that choice, and it seems neither do they. They back up. This is the Frozen Punisher. So now we're going to see how much the gamble pays off. We want to see how much value this Punisher enables in the mid lane versus what the Bruiser Camp enables in the top, or actually now enables in the bot lane, because the Haka burrowing down bot to get that extra value. Punisher baited, the wall is down, Punisher wailing onto the fort, but turning his attention back to the members of Roll1Esports. Jump onto a Nubarak. Worried it was going to jump onto Zad there, but Zad fine. This Punisher going to drop. It's going to be a fort traded, but how much value does the Haka get? If he can get this keep wall, I think it's worth. Meanwhile, though, we're seeing Devil Keggs. They're going to try to steal this camp, but it is a 4v4 at the moment. Tyrael does come down to deal with the Haka. Level 13 here for the side of Roll1. And the Haka is going to get the B in time. Oh, so close. You were so close, RavenX. Yeah, I generally, the reason I like, I mean, I can see it working with Tyrael. The reason I like it with Joanna is just Joanna can unstoppable into the enemy team and condemn. And that's just guaranteed so much value. I mean, Tyrael can make it work too, but he doesn't really have a way to force the enemy team to group up. So it's got to be a lot tighter timing. But Roll1Esports, you know, just seemingly like playing with Devil Keggs here in the macro. Now moving on to this mid shrine, but there's the Dragon's Arrow, putting Sylvanas Smash bot. Phoenix cutting off the retreat of Rock Your World. Rock Your World using a Cocoon onto Anduin, now with the burrow charge out. Good escape. B-Train gonna try to separate out the team. Is he? No. We don't have Holy Ground. Interesting, we do not have a Holy Ground. Going with the Law and Order instead. I think if you have Holy Ground there, you maybe are able to re-engage that fight. But of course, we'll see. Harder to see what value Law and Order gets. Holy Ground is just one of those really big talents. But then from there, Roll1Esports just kind of running around the map. They're not fighting. There's only one kill in this game. But Roll1Esports did not win the lottery. The next shrine is top, not bottom. So, a little bit of bad luck. This is where RNG can get you, where they sell out for bot lane. But it looks like they're going to play... They're going to continue to play this macro game of, you know, we're going to just keep pushing this lane. We're going to open up our win condition. Now let's see how much damage they can get. They need to be careful. Nubarak under the tower. There's the shutdown, but here's the potential engage. Dragon's Arrow enabling the re-engage. Phoenix chunking out a ton of damage, and that's going to enable a kill, and there's the Bless Shield. And this could be a situation that Roll1Esports wanted to avoid. Starfall comes out, gets some slows. Can they get... Ooh, Dahaka Burrowing is going to actually enable a condemned re-engage. Hits 3. Lunar Flare trying to buy some space. Tyrael, though, trying to look for the engage as well. Needs to be careful. Roll1Esports does lose Jaina there. They didn't really get any keep damage. A little bit, like 20% maybe. But now the situation is that actually in the lane where this shrine is, you see that Devil Keggs has a much better defense ready than Roll1Esports because of that first shrine paired with some of the macro decisions. But they're going to invade Bruiser now. This Bruiser invade is more a deny than it is anything else. They see them bot lane, they're like, hey, we can take it. But all that's going to happen, the Bruiser lane, unless they get vision on the 4th Bruiser lane, is just going to walk around this wall and feed onto structures there. Cocoon there onto Tyrael just to enable a disengage. Big Beard in the bush, looks for the tongue, unstoppable use, tongue also a little bit inaccurate. Jaina meanwhile starting the shrine. This is an Arcane Punisher with the gate down now, as well as one of the towers. This is a much more equal situation, a lot of value potentially. Yeah, with Cocoon being used there, that's going to make this fight just that much harder for Roll1. Has to avoid the Living Bomb spread, does do so. Dragon's Arrow collects onto the Haka, not the ideal target for that, but the combos coming in all insane. Phoenix trying to zone out Poe, does do so, but the Starfall also kind of a waste. Neither ult getting a lot of value. Light Bomb, Sanctification still up, as is Wailing Arrow and Silence, but now Deviled Keggs has good control over this point. We're going to need to see a pretty strong engage here by Rock and Roll. Cutting off the retreat angle. Great position by Rock and Roll. Here comes the engage. Light Bomb trying to be used, but it's not enough for Kael'thas to be saved. Sanctification just a little bit late. Would have liked to have seen it in that choke point there. Big Beard getting a stun onto Joanna, but getting turned around with the root. But all that while, Tyrael in the back line does go down. Not going to be able to get really much suicide value. Cocoon was used onto Hanzo with a cheeky Lunar Flare follow-up, but that is Roll1Esports winning a huge, very, very impactful team fight. There's the short cooldown of Cocoon. You see it, it gets value. Some attempt at cheeky minion steal, but not going to be enough. And this is Arcane Punisher pushing down top lane with no wall. And Dahaka going off the soak. So good decision here. He can rejoin the fight. I believe he has a Z up. I believe he walked up. He hasn't used the Z recently. So he could Z up into this bush right here. I think that's kind of the ideal bush. Or he could just push down mid and open up rotation lanes for Roll1. Actually, it looks like Roll1 not gonna push with this. I mean, this is a full health Arcane Punisher. I don't like this decision. I know that they're gonna be able to push mid keep here, but it looks like they're gonna go bot keep. I gotta be honest, I don't really love this decision, because effectively by the time they even get down here, this Arcane Punisher is already dead. And retreat ping's coming in, and yeah, I just don't like that decision. I think you take the bird in the hand over the two in the bush here. Roll1Esports, once again, kind of playing, in my opinion, too safe. And now actually not playing safe enough, as the engage is coming in. Dahaka could burrow into this. There's the Dragon's Arrow, gonna hit a Nubarak. A Nubarak gonna have to burrow charge out. Sanctification gonna be used to secure the shrine. 2 ults to none, though. And so Roll1Esports, if I'm them, I'm thinking, all right, look, I know we're almost 20 now, but we need to fight. We want to fight now. We want to take a fight on this enemy team right now, but they're not doing it. Ults are down. Dragon's Arrow going to be down for another 45. Are they going to take a fight here, or are they going to continue to play this passive way? I think this has kind of been the theme of Roll1Esports this series, is that they've not, I think, taken advantage of situations they could have. We'll see, though, if they do. Deviled Keggs, it's 5v5, but they're down about a level. They're down 2 ultimates, although only for another 20 seconds. And I think Roll1Esports kind of let them off the hook for those ultimates being down. Getting good macro control, though. Dahaka, though, needs to be very careful with these rotations. They're too aggressive for my taste. It looks like Roll1 once again focusing this bot lane, but again, look at this. Bad luck. Next shrine is mid. We are still not getting a bottom shrine. So for everything that Roll1 has thrown into this bot lane, they are not going to get that bottom Punisher. It is going to be mid, which is still okay, but that's actually definitely RNG in favor of Deviled Keggs. Roll1 now looking for this fight. Sanctification back up in 4. Now they're going to rotate away. No ults used there by Roll1 again. Phoenix is down. Blessed Shield is down. Looks like they're going to rotate up to this Bruiser camp. Roll1 playing a very heavy macro style. If we get a fight here, though, I mean, yeah, you have the Light Bomb and the Sanctification of the Dragon's Arrow, but you don't have Phoenix, you don't have Blessed Shield. So I think you got to give this camp up. No ults used by Roll1. Now, looking to push up this top lane. Tyrael currently soaking, rotating up in. There's the Starfall, trying to buy some space to get this wall down. Dahaka moving in for a tongue, but now in a bad spot, losing a lot of HP. Essence down. Phoenix going to zone out Dahaka. Huge Dragon Arrow hits 3. There's the Blessed Shield, trying to engage onto Poe. Is Poe going to be able to survive this? He does. Wailing Arrow still available, Silence still available, but all the other ults blown for Roll1 versus Sanctification and Light Bomb still available for Deviled Keggs. So Deviled Keggs there, not at level 20 just yet. Are close, but are they going to get it in time to be able to contest the shrine? I don't like this call. They look like they're going to contest, seeing Dahaka bot. Dahaka did Z into the last fight, so Actually, no, that's right. Dahaka did Z in the last fight, so it was a 5v4. Very risky strategy, though. Dahaka going to push up onto this bot lane. They should be able to pick up level 20 off the shrine, or they could just duck into minion wave in mid and pick it up. Dahaka is on the keep. Roll1 now stepping up, looking to contest some minions. 20 to 25. There's a Wailing Arrow on the back line. Here comes Dahaka now, looking for the engage. Still no level 20. This is now 5v5 without level 20. The health bars are a bit low. Light Bomb, but there's a Starfall separating out. But Jaina going to be the first fall, and Dahaka is going to be the next to go down. And the Cocoon comes in a bit late, so Roll1Esports losing this fight. 4v5, Dahaka joins. Actually, they were holding 4v5. Dahaka joins. They lose the fight, though, as 20 gets picked up now, and this is devastating. The keep finally goes down. There's their goal, but here is how they are going to have to deal with it. They're going to have to deal with this Punisher. 19-minute Punisher here in the mid lane. Jaina and Dahaka down for 35. You got to bait this over the wall, do as much damage as you can. Baited right into the wall, unfortunately, and that's not going to get it done here, as now this is core threatening for Roll1 as Devil Keggs looking to close out this series. Devil Keggs already has a keep down. This Punisher very healthy. Jaina not up for 10. Gonna take a pretty miraculous defense here. The Winter Mute's available, but man. Dahaka with the Apex Predator as well. Doesn't really have team fight ability. A noob gets separated out. He gets blown up. That should be the game. Sanctification to enable the shields to go down onto the core. Root onto the Dahaka, just slowing the engage even further, and the core is down to 50%, and there's no end in sight, although a huge silence enables a kill onto Anduin. It's not going to be enough. Down goes the core. Devil Keggs going to win this series. What a huge fight there by Devil Keggs, ensuring... taking a fight 19-20, very risky. Not waiting till level 20, trying to take advantage of the fact Dahaka wasn't there. They continue the fight because the health bars are low, despite still not having level 20. They get the kills they need, and they manage to win this series. The Devil Keggs gonna take this one 2-0. It's gonna be a victory for them, 2 points for them, but Roll1Esports gonna salvage a point of their own in the standings. And so we're going to see if we can do a post-game interview. We'll be right back here on the Nexus Gaming Series. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series, everyone. As we close out the night, it's a great series here between Roll1Esports and between Devil Keggs, and I am joined by the captain of the latter, coming out victorious 2-1 series. What are your first thoughts here, B-Train?
My first thoughts are I'm extremely upset I didn't get to play Chen. That's my first thoughts.
Bans, man. The ban, you were targeted. Dude, you weren't even getting the second ban. Like, they could have at least given you hope. And they're just like, no. First ban every time, instant.
Yeah, I was sad.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, though, you played... I really liked your Tyrael play in that last game. I really liked, actually, your Dahaka game in Game 2. Really keeping your team kind of in the race, shutting down some Dragonite caps. So I thought you played quite well in this series, so I do want to give you those props.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And the Tyrael is really good to hear some confirmation on, because my team still doesn't believe.
I mean, some of those sanctifications were pretty big. That said, with that, let's go through the games. First game, you guys were down quite a bit. Obviously, it's Towers of Doom. You don't worry too much early, but at a certain point, you were down 20-8. Were you guys starting to panic at all, or were you just saying like, yeah, we knew we were late game?
So we were at like I think right at that 20-8 marker. We were 20-12 and we weren't 16, and they capped one and they got us down to 8, but we ticked 16,
Mm-hmm.
and all of our comms were like, "Yo, whatever happens, we have to fight and we have to keep fighting. Like we're on talent tier, we just need to make them like on the back foot instead of us because they out rotated us. They had the macro advantage with the global. Like they had us hemmed up like the whole game. So our whole mindset wasn't even like we didn't think we would lose the early game that bad,
Mm-hmm.
but we got to the late game and we're like, we have better late game heroes and we can outplay these team fights if we just watch out for certain things. And so I think our mindset was better late game than it was early because we knew exactly where we stood.
I will say that that is as close a Towers of Doom game as you can have in terms of the final score on the core, pretty much. So, really good match, and obviously Andrew popping off in that last team fight after you as a team did a great job. A lot of times I see teams get so intense in that post-20 fight that you lose track of what talents the enemy team picks. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess you guys noticed Deathmosh was picked, because you did a really good job not clumping.
Yeah, we 100% were like, well, so our first thing was like, we started the fight, we fought for like 20 seconds, and I was like, wait, is it Deathmosh? And I looked and it was. I was like, okay, Deathmosh, watch out, boys. And
Yeah.
someone was like, don't kill ETC. I'm like, well, we can't do that. But we basically went that whole fight just like not touching ETC. And I don't know if like he wasn't ready for that, because like at level 20, a lot of Deathmosh ETCs literally just int for the super mosh because you can't interrupt it. And he never did that, so it was kind of weird. Like we just had him in that weird limbo. Like he didn't know if he could go in, but we didn't kill him either. So
he was stepping up late, but the heals I think Stukov had to blow trait at a certain point in that fight, and that 16 seconds is just an eternity at that point. So I think ETC was trying to go for the big death mosh, but you guys negotiated well, and then Andrew pops off with the resets, and you guys managed to grab that last shrine, keeping it a bit short. Dragonshire, you guys seem to have you got down early on that map, but you managed to stall it out for quite some time with some good pickoffs. What do you think you can attribute the stall to?
Just globals, and my race car build makes it a little wonky because I get a lot of places people don't expect. And then taking Apex Predator at 20 gives me a 25-second global, which is more than Falstad, even if he takes his upgrade, which he didn't. So I could literally be from one side of the map to the other and back in a 25-second window. So I think we just never let them get the DK.
Yeah, I think also though it's worth throwing out that Temporal Loop secured a lot of kills with no cleanse on the Lili, so that also I think helped you guys out. But you weren't really able to turn that, unfortunately, into much in the way of map pressure, and so eventually the bleeding couldn't be stemmed. But that takes us to Infernal Shrines. Obviously, Roll1Esports was playing a let's open up bot lane and try to win off that strategy. But even you got to admit, 4 shrines, none of them bot lane. That's kind of feels bad, man, for Roll1.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even notice that until you said it.
Yeah, that they like every shrine. It was top, and then it was mid, and then it was top, and then it was mid. And so they get all that value bottom keep, and it never turns into a potential Punisher push. But that said, they had good macro. Walk me through that last team fight, because you guys walk in. I mean, obviously Tahaka's visible on the map, and he has Apex Predator, so Z's up soon. But you guys walk in 19-20. What made you make that decision, and how do you approach that team fight in that situation?
It was honestly all because they burned Cocoon. They cocooned somebody. I can't remember who it was, but they just like walked up randomly, cocooned, and were like, we're 19-20. We have 5 ults. They have, I think Bless was maybe 10 seconds off CD. So we were like, okay, we're just going to run in. We're going to get a lot of stacks on the minions. And I was specifically not going to sank literally ever that fight. So I was waiting for 20 to get Holy Arena.
Right.
And by the time we hit 20, I think it was like 38-35. So I just kind of like trusted and everybody hit. But like, honestly, just the damage from Hanzo and Kel'Thas secured a lot of minions. And they didn't have like the flanking angles that they normally had because we didn't aggress into the shrines. We kind of stayed on the right edge. And I was like all the way on the left being just a pest.
Right.
And the entire mindset was, if we win this shrine, we can lose bot keep, we can lose mid keep, top keep, we don't care. I said, I have Holy Arena, we're ending the game with this shrine.
All right, and obviously you guys got the couple of kills despite the 20 disadvantage, as we discussed. managed to run it down core, and it was at that point it was, it was fairly undramatic. 19-minute punishers are not to be fucked with, is I think a fair way to put it. But with that, thank you for letting me cast this match. Floor is yours for shoutouts.
So first off, shoutouts to R1E. They put up one heck of a series. We didn't mean to take it into a long 3 game, but we did.
I had fun anyway.
So
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
them.
Which
Shout out to you for casting, of course.
Which, given my lack of sleep, could be any minute now. But nonetheless,
shout out to my team. We had a rough go around with our recent endeavors, including the renaming and the rebranding. So huge shout out to us, especially bouncing back after last week. And lastly, shout out to everybody in chat and NGS supporting. And GG's, y'all.
All right. Well, thank you for that. And with that, we're going to bring this cast to a close. I am casting a set tomorrow. It is Reborn Knights Black versus... Oh, goodness. I forgot who I'm casting tomorrow. Forgive me to the other team. Remember, it was definitely a match that I saw I wanted to cast. Hang on. Forgive me. I have to answer this to myself now at this point. Reborn Knights Black versus... Regen Phoenix. So very, very great match potentially there. Two teams with a lot of veteran players in the league. So check that out. That's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern here on this channel. It's going to be the only game I cast that night. Wednesday, I got a couple matches featuring, I believe it's Murky. Yes, Murky's Hit Squad. So I'm going to do a double header with them on Wednesday. So getting 4 casting nights out this week. Looking forward to that. If you want to get involved in this league, check out nexusgamingseries.org. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I don't believe there is anyone streaming at the moment. Maybe... Hang on, let me check if Murda's still streaming. If he is, I'm going to throw a host over to him. He is still streaming. They're actually jumping into a Game 3 now, so I'm going to go ahead and throw a raid over to Murda's channel. So go ahead and check that out. And thank you for watching, everyone. We will see you next time on the Nexus Gaming Series. Take care.